and it is counted unto him or her for righteousness, and the miracle happens. That person can come tomorrow and still give testimony. Now, if you don't have a good understanding, you would think that that is an endorsement. Oh, God is in this place. If he's not a man of God, why would God be doing all these miracles that is happening? Meanwhile, it is also important we know that even Satan does miracles. Satan does miracles. So we cannot overemphasize that. Now, let us listen to Johnson Suleman.
Yeah, sir. People don't leave a church, people leave a man. The people that left your church are in another church. Because they came to the church, they couldn't see God. They are looking for God somewhere. And you have a problem, and that's one of the problems of the Pentecostal. That is why the Catholic Church remains the outstanding church. Because they do not direct the people to the Reverend Father. They direct the people to the system. They direct them to their God. They direct them to the Elohim that they know. They direct them to Mother Mary. That's what they know. But you directed them to you. And when they saw you, you were not worth it, so they left. Forget about the statistics we see. 100,000 seater, 80,000 seater. Those are not the largest church in Nigeria. There are Catholic sects of 120,000. There are Catholic churches of 150,000. There are Catholic churches of 180,000. They have gone beyond the level of statistics. Statistics and crowd counting is one of the manipulation of the charismatic. They don't count crowd, and that is why you see the Orthodox Church have become a generational movement. My father was a Catholic, my mother was a Catholic, so I am a Catholic. There are some people in your church who are members in body but Catholic in spirit. The people that hold the money in this country are the north. From the north, they go to the east. They control the economy of this country, and the Orthodox Church control those two places. Go to the north, you see a St. Luke, a St. Thomas. Go to the east, you see a man who is a chief. He comes to your place for prayer. Equa, you go to them. You go Cogisted, you go to all those places. These churches, they have spent 100 years, 50 years. They have spent time, decades, and they are still standing. Because there is a system. There's a culture they've been told. That following this Almighty God is not because of the things we need. You have now carried that mentality from being a lay believer. You have carried it into ministry. You fast for growth. You pray for growth. You are praying for branches. You are praying all those prayers that would have been converted into making yourself a better person, and the branches will happen on their own. This prayer will be natural if your focus is right. You have prayed with me. You have prayed with me. You have spent time to pray with me. We are having a crusade coming. We have a program coming. Have you ever heard me say, let's commit this crusade we are going to the hand of God? No, let's commit ourselves. When we are loaded, when we went there, John Wesley said, I set myself on fire. People gather to see me burning. I set myself on fire. Let people gather to see me burning. I don't study to preach. I don't study to prepare a message. I study to be molded. When I am molded, I begin to explain the process of that formation, and somebody sees that process of the formation as a revelation. I was talking to a man of God in the hotel, and he had the knock. Bok, 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 bok. I stood up to open. There was nobody there, and he said, what is that? Somebody knocked. I said, don't worry, it happens around me. There are angelic movements. The angelic movements is a dimension of God, not sought for as you are just loving him. He sees your heart. Certain dimensions begin to happen on their own. I have kept suits alone. I've kept clothes somewhere. I kept them, consciously kept them, and I woke up with the door locked. I saw them in the wardrobe. I didn't put them in the wardrobe. I saw them there and I smiled. I consciously have done some things, kept some things somewhere, and when I stand up, nobody entered through the door. I see them moved and I smile. In the midst of your pain, turn that to an Adulam experience. The battles of your life should increase your love for God.
Okay, what I'm going to do is that I will start from the last statement that Suleman made to actually respond generally to everything. Now, his testimony, this testimony he gave now, oh, there is nothing bad. Those experiences can happen. But these are also the ways that they turn the attention of people on themselves rather than on Jesus. Now, he said that the Roman Catholic system, they direct you to God and they direct you to Mary, which is what they believe. So I don't want to dwell on that. I believe he doesn't believe that Mary should gain people's attention. Mary is just a Christian like ourselves. she was privileged and God, chose her. She was a chosen vessel to be the one that will give birth to the Son of God here on earth physically. Beyond that, there is nothing special about Mary that should make her a deity or that should deify her. So I believe he doesn't believe in that, but he said that is what they believe. Now, but the pastors, the Pentecostal pastors, are guilty of directing people's attention to themselves. Now, this kind of testimony he gives is akin to the testimony he gave also when somebody went, teleported from France to Germany, in the toilet, went into the toilet from France and appeared in Germany. And when he wanted to go back, and the Lord said, how did you come? Go into the toilet, then you find yourself there. These experiences are real. But the truth is that one he gave didn't happen. Now, our brother here has a way of shunning out numbers. Now, I tried to find out the largest auditorium, Roman Catholic auditorium in Nigeria. The one I saw said is 5,000 capacity. Now, I don't know any Roman Catholic auditorium that is up to 20,000 in Nigeria. That is, the seating capacity is up to 20,000. They may have 2 services in a day, maybe on a Sunday morning, 2 or 3 services. But then saying that there are those of 180,000, maybe he's talking about the Basilica. I don't know. But in Nigeria, it's nothing. But that is not what I'm saying. Now, all I'm saying here is that all of them said the same thing. They are pointing towards the longevity, the super organization of the church, how organized the church is. Now, it is not far-fetched. It is because it is not one-man church. It is not one-man church. It is still run like a monarchical system where a successor, in fact, it wouldn't be right actually to use the system of the monarchy, because the system of the monarchy can fit into what we are doing today. I'm the king, the prince will be the one to succeed me, Now, but why I bring in the monarchical system is that theirs is more democratical than what we have in the churches today. Now, and the reason is that the Pope doesn't have a wife legally, the one that you can point at, this is this is Popes. Because if there is that GO, there must be Mommy GO. So if there is a Pope, there is no Popes. And so there is no small ogre, as in the son of the Pope, that you can point at and say, this is the first son of the Pope, or the second son or the daughter of the Pope. The Reverend Fathers are not legally allowed to marry. So you cannot, conclusively say that while he's dying, he's handing over to this person. It doesn't happen like that. So that is why the lifespan of the church is the way it is, and it will continue. And mind you that it is not only the Roman Catholic Church, the Anglican Church. Bishop Oyedepo made mention of the Anglican Church, the Church of England. But there are also, that's why I said, you take away something from the meat to eat the meat. You don't eat everything in the meat. If you eat everything in the meat, you poison yourself. Now, the Church of England, that was supposed to be the closest to the Roman Catholic system, now today are joining Adam and Steve in wedlock, and they are using the term our genderless God in heaven. All right, so you don't copy all those, but I see that their interest and their attention is just focusing on the longevity. So if this has become a concern to us, how is it that some ministries die immediately after the founder of the ministry dies? It is because the founder of the ministry, as in the human founder of the ministry, has written a constitution that empowers his wife or his any immediate family member to take over the reins of power. And it is God that calls. If it was God that called the father, why not we allow the same God to call the person that will succeed him? And at times, there is no plan in place. The person just dies. And because there is hypocrisy in the church, now if you listen to these pastors, as they were saying these things, their members were applauding them. Did you hear that? Their members were applauding them. But I made a video here questioning the rationale behind pastors' families taking over from their fathers, from them. And a lot of hypocrites came, bombarding me with abuse and questions. Now, but the same thing I said in the video is the same thing that these pastors are saying. And the same members are clapping for them. What kind of people are we? What kind of people are we? Iginla said things about family, they clapped. Dagil said things about longevity, blah, 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 blah. They clapped. And this clap, I saw somebody like Chris Okaf, when Bishop Oyedepo was speaking, I think that was Chris Okaf, Now, tell me, churches like that, like his own, like Jeremiah Omotofe, like Iginla's own, I want to give Bishop Oyedepo benefit of the doubt. because of what he said in that video, or that I uploaded last time. That church is not a family business. So you give him benefit of the doubt that he's going to do the right thing. Benefit of the doubt that he's going to do the right thing. And the Lord will keep all of us alive. He will live long enough to be able to do that. A lot of us will be alive to witness it. Okay, so let us cultivate this. Like I said, if you want to continue the lineage of your father, just do what your father did that was right. Honorably, you do what your father did that was right. So the fact that the Pope or the Reverend Father, they don't have a son to hand over to. And the bishops, the Pope, I said earlier, doesn't have a wife or a son legally or openly that he can hand over to. Now, somebody might be asking, why are you using the word legally? Legally. Now, that will lead me to the story I want to tell you. Now, I've seen this report long time ago, but I didn't pay attention to it. I looked away from it, and I'm sure that some of you may have seen it. So this video becomes a perfect time for me to bring it up. Maybe it would serve the right purpose. So here we are about this Reverend Father who is said to be married to 2 wives, not just 1, but 2. And it is something that you can prove actually it didn't happen in the moon, it happened in Nigeria here. So I'm going to read it to you. This was reported by the Daily Sun. And this is not only Daily Sun, just type in Reverend Father or Catholic priest derobe for marrying 2 wives. You see a lot of reputable print media talking about it. So, from Noah Ebije, Kaduna, parishioners of Queen of Apostles Catholic Church, Kakuri Parish, Kaduna State, are still in shock following revelation that the parish priest, Very Reverend Father Peter Zuni, 54, was engaged in a secret marriage to 2 women, an act that led to his being disrobed and sacked from the priesthood. Sunday Sun gathered that one of the wives is already late, while the surviving one, who blew the whistle about 3 weeks ago over the secret marriage, is said to be nursing a child for the embattled priest. According to the doctrine of the Catholic Church, only unmarried men are ordained into the priesthood, as they are obligated to swear to an oath of celibacy and observe perfect and perpetual service for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. This, it is believed, would enable the priests to easily remain close to Christ with an undivided heart and dedicate themselves more freely to the service of God and the congregation. When Sunday Sun visited the premises of the Queen of the Apostles Parish, some parishioners confirmed the report, which they said was initially thought to be mere rumor. The parishioners who spoke on condition of anonymity said they were shocked and surprised to learn of a petition to the Bishop of Kaduna Archdiocese, Bishop Ndagoso Manoso, that 2 women had children for their parish priest, an act considered to be an abomination and grave sin against the Catholic doctrine. They pointed out that in order to cover up the priest's sin from spreading to the larger public, the Archdiocese allegedly organized a send-off for the embattled priest to a remote village in Jaba local government area of Kaduna State. So the church also kind of engaged in a way, kind of cover-up. We're not going to talk about the cover-up now because there are so many things about the cover-up. When we talk about cover-up, you will now begin to ask why sometimes you hear that a certain reverend sister has gone to Rome or a certain reverend father has gone to Rome. Not all of them that go to Rome, going to Rome because of get it. So we're not talking about cover-up. They pointed out that in order to cover up, I have read that before. During the send-off, the priest was not allowed to make a farewell speech, and many people refused to take photographs with him. There was little or no felicitation with him because most of the time he was seen standing aloof under a mango tree without anybody going close to him. Nobody can say when the priest committed the alleged sinful. If it happened before his ordination, he wouldn't have been ordained, so probably it was after his ordination. And God does not sleep. No matter the length of cover up, one day the bubble will burst, and the bubble has burst now, the parishioner said. However, when Sunday Sun contacted the disrobed priest on his telephone line and sought comments on his alleged controversial transfer from the city to a remote village, he said, "Nobody is ordained to remain and work in the city. I have spent 5 years as parish priest of Queen of the Apostles, so I can work anywhere, city or village." On the allegation of his involvement in secret marriage to 2 women who bore children for him, even as a Catholic priest. He neither denied nor confirmed the allegation. Rather, he said, "Find it difficult myself to believe what people are saying about me. I will not comment on it. I will follow due process to invite you for an interview. But I'm afraid the newspaper of the Archdiocese, the Cross News, may carry this story before you." Sunday Sun. Reverend Father Zuni further said he is currently based in Suleja, Niger State. But Sunday Sun gathered that parishioners were made to believe that the embattled priest was transferred to Gumel village in southern Kaduna, while he was actually sacked from the priest. Unfortunately, parishioners lamented that the controversial priest's first name, Peter, reminded them of the biblical Peter who denied Jesus 3 times for the cock crowed. Archbishop in tears. When contacted, the Archbishop of Kaduna Catholic Diocese, Bishop Dagoso Manoso, also confirmed the report to Sunday Sun in his office along Tafawa Balewa Way, Kaduna. Bishop Manoso, who was almost in tears when he spoke on the matter, said Father Zuni actually committed the sin. He said that what the priest did brought a sad moment and embarrassment to the entire Archdiocese. Battled priest was his classmate in the seminary more than 30 years ago. Bishop Manoso said that he could imagine the spiritual and psychological torture the priest could be going through over this sinful act. The Archbishop also expressed worry over the health condition of the disrobed priest, who is known to be diabetic and dependent on daily injection of insulin. How the bubble burst over the secret matrimonial relationship. Bishop Manoso said the woman at the center of the storm confronted him with a baby said to belong to Father Zuni, and after due investigation by his office, it was confirmed that the priest was her secret husband. Bishop Manoso said, "It is very unfortunate that this thing had to happen in my diocese. It is not an easy thing for me. If I tell you what I have been going through in the past few weeks over this issue, it has not been easy for me. Father Zuni was my classmate. We spent 7 years in the seminary at a time. He proceeded to Kaduna Polytechnic and read accounting. This thing happened and nobody knew. But he has to face the sanction. We sacked and disrobed him because what he did is no longer compatible with his vocation as a priest. It was not true that he was transferred to any village. He was about to be transferred on normal routine, but when I heard of this story, I had to cancel the transfer and sacked him. It is true that he had affairs with 2 women. They both had children for him, but one of the women is late already. We are not God. We did not know on time until now that he was having affairs with 2 women." He spoke further. The church said the priest has to go because the church doesn't allow priests to marry. So he had to go and look after his children and his matrimonial home. You can now imagine what the priest is going through, either spiritually or psychologically. He must be going through hell on earth. This is my concern for him now. The woman and the kids will be going through trauma also. I've been trying to see how I can help him, but I don't think I have the skills to help him. But he needs help to come to terms with reality. By December, he will be 30 years in the priesthood. He is now 54 years old. So at this age, what can he do with his life? Nobody can employ him now. He spent 7 years in the seminary and 30 years in the priesthood, and that is 37 years. So what can he do with his life at 54? Church too is going through a lot of trauma. So we need everybody's prayers for us to put this incident behind. Okay, so people began to react. But there was something that I read here that the people said when they heard it before, they thought it was rumor. They discountenanced it. They brushed it aside. Now, but eventually they came face to face with reality and with truth. And that also is the way that you have always thought, I'm lying when I bring up some things and I say some things. I've always admitted that sometimes I could be wrong. When I'm wrong and you call my attention to it and I find out I was wrong, I will always make amends. But if I had anyone like me found this information ahead of time before the parishioners and brought it here, you would see all kinds of insults. In fact, some would want to drag me out from the screen, shoot me with God. But thank God, it is what it is. So I'll be ending it here now, and I hope that if you got to this point, I hope you understand where I stand on this matter. I'm not attacking anybody. But if we are looking at longevity, why there is longevity in the Roman Catholic Church is that they don't hand over to their wives and children. There is a system that takes care of succession. That is why the church has not died. And that is exactly the opposite reason why the church is founded by our brothers and sisters in this, should I call them end-time church? That is why there is no sustainability. Suleman talked about, praying and having relationship with God. That being the reason why you are praying and studying. But how many of them preach it? All they preach is, you come to church for blessing. You pray. Of course, it's right. You fast for money. You fast for breakthrough. You fast for more branches. Because more branches means more money. All right? Nobody is praying and fasting to have relationship with God. Whoa. I will stop it here. Let me know what you think about the whole thing discussed in the video, both in part 1 and in this part 2. God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Please don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Share the video and most importantly, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and consider joining the channel membership. And to those of you members, I say 3 of you, thank you so much. I am so grateful. Bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me, you. Shalom.